When a client comes to us and they've been involved in a serious car accident, we have the experience and we fight against these insurance companies.
The insurance company was giving us a hard time and Joe went right at them. They were ready to settle right away.
Let more than 30 years of trial experience work for you.
Compass Westchester has sued Yorktown. They have asked the state court to direct the town board to issue a special permit or at least let them open up as a family. In light of this, would you agree to re-vote on the sober home and approve the special use permit?
No, I think it was a legitimate vote, and you know, some things do wind up in the courts. You can't always avoidance of lawsuits is a good thing to do if you can do it. But when you have two groups, either the town or citizens in the group against someone who's bringing something into the town, and they can't come to the compromise or agreement, then a court is where something like that needs to be settled.
Tom?
Yeah, they were served papers. I haven't had a chance to look at the papers to see exactly what it is. I understand it's an Article 78. The unfortunate part of the lawsuit is that it very well may take away any right that we have to put reasonable restrictions on the applicant of the special use permit. I think that window may be closed at this point because the courts are going to decide now. In regard to, do I think it should be revoted? I think it was a non-vote, and the political posturing that was there, I think there should have been a vote, or there should have been a reason why there wasn't a vote. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I think specifically on the vote, that the town attorney has opined that it was a non-vote. But I think that there's also opinions on the other side of that. So I think it's going to be decided in the court at this point. I don't think that if the town board, I don't think it would be appropriate to re-vote it while there's litigation going on. I think the litigation should be settled before it's even decided whether it was an appropriate vote or not. My other thought process on the sober home itself is that when it first came to town, if we had a working board that could come to compromises on things, then when the applicant first comes into the town, you work with them. If you don't think it's the appropriate location, maybe you can find an appropriate location, or work with the neighbors and address their concerns before this is actually put forward. So I think that it's two-pronged, that when an application comes into the town, that the town board should early on say, is that an appropriate place, and if not, let's like with the group homes, we have a committee, and the group homes come to the committee, the neighbors come in, they discuss it, they tell them who's going to be in the residence, and so I think that's how we should go about this application.
I agree with basically everyone's opinion to not re-vote on this. The decision was made, it was voted on. I don't think that we should re-vote on something because someone's threatening a lawsuit or because someone sues. I think that just opens the town up for anyone who doesn't get a decision that they like to sue, and it's almost, you know, would come out like almost like a bullying type situation. Oh, you're going to sue us, so we'll go ahead and revote that. I think they're asking for permission to open up as a family, but technically with the zoning codes we have, they can already do that, so I'm not quite sure why they're suing for that. And as far as my opponent discussing, you know, appropriate locations, this isn't a group home. It's a business. They have the right to open or to purchase property wherever they want. So we don't have a right to tell them, you know, well, let's try and find you another location. And then I feel that, you know, if we try to find them another location, then you're taking two neighborhoods of people and pitting them against each other. Well, why are you picking out my neighborhood over their neighborhood? So I don't really think that that's a solution. I do, however, think that now that there's two Article 78s with the court, that the courts will decide. It'll be impartial, and we'll have to deal with it from there.
Okay. And I kind of have a follow-up to that. for Bob and Rosanne, almost because I did get around to reading the lawsuit. And in there, the lawsuit accuses the two Democrat town board members, Vishnu and Susan, of kind of working together to stall the application or come up with new zoning, so change the family, so Compass Westchester might not be able to open as a family. It goes as far as to accuse them of working together. And it even kind of infers that they were stalling until the March 10th special election to get two new people on the board who might support their opinion. So do you think there's any merit to that, Bob and Rosanne?
I think it could go either way.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be hoping to get two people on the board that would vote for it. So that tactic could go be applied to, you know, either way, yes or no.
Okay.
I don't think they were working together. In fact, quite honestly, I was surprised when Vishnu voted no after Susan went through coming up with different, you know, suggestions and different conditions to put into the permit. So I was surprised. I had no idea, you know, what he was going to do, but that's his decision. That's his vote to make.
Okay.
Yeah, my opinion was that it was clear that Michael was definitely, you know, persuaded and always had been that this would be a great thing for the town, and it wasn't clear that, you know, where Vishnu and Susan were going to wind up. But to see Susan first seem to be leaning towards opposing it and then coming back round full circle, I mean, that's what we're supposed to do as elected officials. We're supposed to give thought. We're supposed to listen to the absorb the information, listen to the, you know, the facts, and make a judgment call. That being said, you know, I'm against the, you know, people forcing someone to say, why did you vote the way you voted? Because my view is, you know, a jury listens, deliberates, gets all the facts, and 12 of them come back, and if they come back with a guilty plea, they're not all each asked to tell why they, you know, felt it was a guilty plea. I kind of feel the same way about that.
Just as a quick response, any applicant that comes to the town, whether it be a commercial development, whether it be this application for the sober home or a group home, if they don't get a feeling that the town board supports what they're going to try to accomplish, you do have leverage in that by saying they're not going to go through spending the money for attorneys, for architecture, for whatever, engineering, whatever the case may be, if they don't feel the town is behind the project from the beginning. So when something first comes into the town, you do have some leverage on an applicant to say, to move things in a certain direction. So I think that that's one of the things that the town could have done in this situation.
Do you have anything to add? Or
Yeah, and on that, like I say, the reasonable restrictions that both sides had come up with at one point in time, I thought we were on our way to a good thing. And that with the reasonable restrictions in place, if both sides could agree, and it seems like they were putting input, meaning the people that live near the sober living residents and the sober living residents owners. I thought that they were on their way to a deal, to be quite honest with you. But now with that Article 78, it's going to be in the hands of a judge, and the judge is going to make the decision, and the judge is going to tell the town what it can and cannot do.